This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Well, Beanie Sigel is going hard at Meek Mill, and I like this. I like this Beanie Sigel. He's basically sunning Meek Mill on this second diss track we just got today called Goodnight. Yesterday we got I'm Coming, and I want to address something on that, okay? We got I'm Coming, fire. That shit was fire, okay? The bars were there. But you got Bow Wow trying to chime in on the Meek Mill and Beanie Sigel beef? Yo, like, slow your roll, homie. You little Bow Wow. He said, nah, hold up. Stop playing. This ain't beans. You got us. Okay, where's the real record at? Obviously he didn't listen to I'm Coming. That shit was hard. Anyways, let's get into Goodnight, and then we'll get back to that. Goodnight, he's just basically spanking Meek Mill. He's basically saying, you know, I inspired you. I put you on the game with Jay-Z and all that stuff. He's telling him I gave you the game, and then he's basically saying you're my son, and anyone can get it with the DC shirt on, and then he's basically telling him go upstairs, go to sleep, and I don't want to hear that TV. You know, he's just basically sunning Meek Mill this whole track saying, yo, it's on, the beef is on, and basically you're my son. I birthed you. And he's basically sunning Meek Mill on this track. Now, I'm Coming track, it was more like, yo, I'm going to put you in a car. He's basically coming from Meek Mill's career, okay? He ain't with all this shit. And he says Meek Mill is making Philly look pussy, you know? So he just gotta, and Meek Mill, I don't know if he's going to respond. It's going to take a few diss tracks to catch on of Beanie Sigel's for Meek Mill to really feel like he should respond, okay? But a lot of people were missing the bars and I'm Coming, okay? Now, on Monday, October 10th, he'll release the third and final diss track aimed at Meek Mill. Just so you know, this isn't going to be a Joe Budden situation where he's making an album towards Meek Mill. He's just, you know, saying his piece. He's basically putting everything out there that he said in the Taxstone interview into rhymes and showing that he's still got the bars. Beanie Sigel ain't going nowhere. Yes, his voice changed, but the guy only got one lung, guys, okay? He even posted something on Instagram today that said, I'm a humble monster, but I'm still a monster. Don't get it fucked up. I'm woke up. Meek Mill woke him up and brought him out of retirement, just as he said on the Meek Mill disco in that game. It was actually Meek Mill that woke him up. So, you know, I don't know, but people really missed out on that Beanie Sigel I'm Coming. And look at little Bow Wow what he wrote, you know? It was like, dude, did you even listen to the track? I mean, come on. That shit was fire. Like, let's go over some of the lyrics that I like, okay? Now, he really came out in the third verse, okay? He said, he even addressed Tiffy Bay. He said, what did he say? He said, you weak for real. Let me get to that line, guy. I want to read it right. So the one thing I really liked, okay? He addressed that. He had a lot of references. He said, back on course with no remorse, like that fat guy from Bed-Stuy kicking doors talking about Biggie. Everybody get on the floor. Everybody in this bitch but that, get it but that whore. Talking about Nicki Minaj. Then he said, yeah, I love them too. You know, basically saying he had love for Meek Mill. But where that tab at? Somebody cashing out or I'm blasting out. Talking about what? Ain't shit to ration out. Basically, ain't no more talking. And then he said, you drew that line, so I'm across it. Basically, you know, this guy Tiffy Bay hit Beanie Sigel because of Meek Mill, okay? Because of Meek Mill. So he said, now laying them lines when they chalk it. Catch you at the Clearport extra cartridge. Ain't no jets departing, only death departing. Teeterboro with a barrel, exercise the plan. Understand, you ain't never too fly to land. That was hard. Then he said, stop this bigger than Omika. I wanted you and ITY, Latifah, unity. He wanted unity. But, you know, whatever. You know, so then he said, then he addressed TV Bay, said, what dudes do for money, my brother's keeper. You know, talking about they're both Muslims. I can't believe, you know. And then he said, a sucker way out is to steal him because he did a sucker punch on him. And he said, look him in the eyes before you kill him. You weak for real, you did it for Meek. You should have did it for the Mills. Talking about the money, you should have got money for this, but no, you just did it for Meek. And then you should have did it for real. Like, yo, you should have killed me because Now I'm coming for you. And he said, got dudes checking under cars before they get in their wheels. Like, yo, people are nervous out here because they woke up the monster, Beanie Sigel. So this track, the Goodnight, was basically spanking Meek Mill on this one. It was more just spanking him, telling him, I'm your daddy, I'm the father you never had. So let's see what track 3 is like. I think this is really going to be the hottest one, so we'll have to check it out.